Four elements of a strong vision statement: clarity, emotion, bringing all five senses to the table, and writing it as if it was already the future. I'm going to share with you examples of my vision statement. I pulled out and printed excerpts from my vision statement that I'm going to share with you so you have a real tangible example. That's how I learn best. I learn best from actual examples. So I want to give that to you so that it's another tool you have. And then we're going to talk about the benefits of vision statements. Why is it a good idea to actually do a vision statement? And the number one benefit is going to surprise you. Let's get back to the four elements. Element number one, clarity. So your vision statement brings clarity to you. You're going to go through a process, and that process is going to be thinking about who you are. It's going to be thinking about what you want. It's going to bring, vision statements bring clarity to the process. Vision statements bring clarity so that you know where you're going. You're doing forethought, right? When you write your vision statement, you're going to bring emotion into it. Emotion's the second element you need for a really strong vision statement. What do I mean by emotion? I mean that I want you to really feel the words that you put on that paper. For me, I write, I want to help 112 million people. That's one of my aspirations, one of my goals, 112 million people. That number, 112, has very significant meaning to me. So when I read that, it's not necessarily about the large impact that portrays. It's more, for me, honestly, about that number, 112. It's very significant to me. So when I write my vision statement, I put things in there that will emotionally charge me when I read my statement. When I share some of the excerpts from my statement, I'm going to take a little bit deeper dive on those excerpts and why I placed them into my vision statement and how that really gets me fired up. So that's emotion. You have to bring emotion into it. There's hundreds of reasons why this is a good idea, and most of them all point back to rewriting or having an imprint on your subconscious, sneaking one past the goalie, making my subconscious feel safe. My subconscious feels safe, then it believes that I am safe, and it'll allow me to proceed forward. And I will be able to break out of being in that stuck mode. I'll be able to jump off that hamster wheel because my subconscious will be aligned with my conscious thought, the things that I'm actually writing down in my vision statement. My subconscious and my conscious will be aligned. I'll be able to move forward. That subconscious isn't going to be like that parachute holding me back, right? Your subconscious can work in both ways. It's both good and bad. Your subconscious is like the wind. If that wind is blowing into a sail on a sailboat, you love having that wind. It's pushing you forward. It's propelling you, right? That same wind in a parachute that they use for athletes. Athletes actually tie a parachute onto their back and they run down the track with the parachute behind them. It causes resistance. It makes them work harder so that when the parachute's not there, they're faster. But your subconscious could act as that parachute also and hold you back. When we could slip things by our subconscious and start creating a new imprint of the files that our subconscious pulls, that will help us propel forward. Then we're using our natural ability, our subconscious, for the betterment of ourselves. And that's what emotion does. When we're placing emotion into those statements, when we're placing emotion into each word we use, when the words what we use create memories for us of really good times, times when we were crushing it, those are all emotionally charged times. Our subconscious says, okay, you're safe. I will let it pass. And we're slipping ones by the goalie so that we can rewrite that. That's why emotion is probably the number one element of vision statements. All five senses. When we write our vision statements, we want to use everything. I want to be able to sit there with my eyes closed and smell the smells, whatever they may be. The fresh mown grass, the scent of smoke from the barbecue, the birds singing, the breeze blowing across my skin. Get all your senses involved. This goes back to point number 2, emotion. When we have all our senses involved, we're bringing in that emotion. We're getting emotionally charged. Nothing is going to happen if you are not emotionally charged. You could have all the intentions of the world. You could be like, I'm going to go out there and save the world. I'm going to do this. It doesn't matter. Emotionally charged is how you stay connected. New Year's resolutions are a really good example of that. When you set New Year's resolutions, you really do have an emotional charge to that. You're like, oh yeah. But that wanes because you don't keep that emotional charge. Something like 80% of New Year's resolutions die by February. Because in the moment they're emotionally charged, but you don't keep that emotion attached to them. Future viewed, future written, or more specifically stated, written from the future person. So when I write my vision statement, and I ask that when you write your vision statement, you start it with today is, and then a date that's 1, 3, 5 years, whatever your vision statement is. If you're writing a 3-year vision statement, then today is August. What's today's date? August 11th. Today's August 11th, 2024. So I would write my vision statement. Today is August 11th, 2027, and I have, or this is what I do. I've created some prompts, and I'm actually going to give you, I'm going to pull this out of my workbook and give you vision, right? These are a whole bunch of prompts. Who's in your proximity? What do you do for work? Where do you live? I'm going to give this to you. It's a link in the description. Just click that link. You'll go. It'll ask you for your email. That email is only shared with me. I don't share that email with anybody else. You share that email. You share your email with me, and I provide the download link for that. It's probably going to be, 8, 9, 10 pages. Probably about a 10-page download that will walk you through a whole bunch of prompts so that you can start getting those energy juices flowing, that thought process going. Right? That's what prompts are for, to get the thought process going. So we're going to write that vision statement from the future as if it already happened. A couple of examples I want to share with you. Right? My vision statement. I'm saving the country one mind at a time. I'm creating problem solvers. I'm revolutionizing the way the youth are taught to think. Each year I help 112 million people live a better life and more aligned. That's at the beginning of mine. How did I use all of my senses in my vision statement? I said that's one of the elements, right? Use all your senses. As I sit on an Adirondack chair facing the water, I wave to Joe, a friend of mine that lives across the 25-foot canal that separates our backyards. My house is located close to the inlet. The kids run across the manicured grass fit for Yankee Stadium, jumping into the water. Down on the dock, a 4-year-old just caught his first fish ever. His excitement's inspirational. The air is filled with the scent of burning wood coming from the smoker. The ribs will be ready in a few hours. Meantime, why don't you grab a burger and a beer and come sit with me so that we can soak it all in? Let's talk about that paragraph for a second and how much emotion and well, how much of my senses were created in that emotion, created in that statement, and then the emotion that it created. My thoughts get ahead of my words. I was a New York City police officer. The Yankees go to the World Series and they bring in extra police for security. I turned out to be one of those police officers, and I had the opportunity to physically walk across the grass at Yankee Stadium. I walked the diamond of Yankee Stadium. I'll never forget that experience. That grass was like carpet. So when I make that statement, I'm bringing myself back to that moment, back to the moment where I was in Yankee Stadium, and there were people in the stadium in the seats. There was a lot of like commotion going on, but I still felt like I was kind of by myself. Can you imagine walking across Yankee Stadium with Babe? And this is the old Yankee Stadium. It's not the new Yankee Stadium. It's the Yankee Stadium Babe Ruth played. Babe Ruth, number 3, my all-time favorite baseball player. Like, wow. So that brings so much emotion to me. Like, yeah, this is what I want. When I was a kid, I lived on a canal. It wasn't 25 feet. It was probably 15 feet. But I lived on a canal, and we used to wave to our neighbors. Hey, Patty! Hey, Max! What do you got there, Max? What are you fishing for? These were the conversations I had off my back dock. And I would literally stand there. We used to play a game where a friend of mine would throw a ball in the air, and I would have to jump off the dock. Because the dock was probably 4 or 5, 6 feet above the water line. So I would jump off the dock. I would try and catch the ball and land in the water. We did that for hours. And there is no way you didn't feel that little kid giggling when I said there's a 4-year-old on the dock and he catches his first fish. I was part of that. That giggle, that excitement, that right? Like tiny little fish like this, but he's a 4-year-old and he's all excited. He doesn't know what they're doing. Like, keep your rod tip up and like just having that experience. How beautiful is that? So when it's so emotionally charged, it really activates your subconscious to go out there and make it happen. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen immediately. Stop with the instant gratification, but it will happen. Here's another one. I am bringing people together so that they can see they are not the only ones trying to create a better future for themselves. I'm providing knowledge that they get to choose the course of their lives, that everything they do is a choice to grow or a choice to die, but it's still a choice. That the government is not their friend. That capitalism, profit, being rich, those words aren't curse words. That's my biggest purpose. My purpose is to let people know that they have a choice, that they can change the course of their life, that being rich, going out there starting a business, adding value to people's lives, that's not a bad thing. That's not curse words. Just because I put money in my pocket, everybody puts money in their pocket. Everybody wants money, but everybody's against the business owner for charging what they charge. I'm not talking about big corporations. That's a completely separate entity. I'm talking about the mom and pop shops. I'm talking about going out there and actually adding value to the world. I'm talking about peddling your goods. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with striving to become financially secure, and there's nothing wrong with being financially secure. Though society would tell us there is. Society would tell us that we have to give everything to everybody. Equality. Fuck equality. I earned everything I have. I earned and created everything I have. Why should you take shit from me and give it to somebody else that sat on their couch? Anyway, back to vision statements. So, vision statements, there's a couple of benefits to vision statements. There's a couple of benefits to vision statements. Those benefits is guidance. When we first started this segment, I said to you, the biggest benefit to vision statements is going to be something that you don't even expect. And that is going through the process. Going through the process of creating a vision statement brings all of that thought process. It brings that clarity. You have to sit down and you have to think about. Here's a great example. If I asked you who you are, what do you stand for? How do you want to change the world? When you died, what do you want to be known and remembered for? Would you be able to answer that? Vision statements help you go through the process of being able to answer those questions. Vision statements help you go through the process of understanding what your core values are. We're going to do a segment in the future on core values. I'm going to give you my worksheet for core values in that segment. I'll share that with you 100%. I want to see you go out and crush the world. So vision statements offer that guidance. And going through that process helps you build confidence, self-awareness. It helps you know the direction you want to head. That's the biggest benefit to vision statements. Vision statements also offer you a roadmap. If I said I want to go swim in the Pacific Ocean, well, at least I know the direction I want to go to. I'm on the East Coast. I grew up on the Atlantic Ocean. I'm still on the East Coast, but if I wanted to swim in the Pacific Ocean, I know at least where I have to go, right? Vision statements. I have a vision of me swimming in the Atlantic Ocean, in the Pacific Ocean. I now know that I have to head west, right? I can get really specific and say, I will swim in the Pacific Ocean, and I will get there by driving Route 80 west. Route 80 West, for those that don't know, Route 80 West starts in New Jersey, which is right, it's basically the New York-New Jersey border. Starts at Teaneck, New Jersey, goes all the way out to San Francisco. So now I have that clarity, that roadmap of how I'm going to get there. It keeps you forward focused. That's a tricky statement right there. I want you guys to be forward focused, but I want you to measure your progress looking backwards. Right? Like, what do you mean, like, measure my progress looking backwards, but forward focused? Forward focused keeps us motivated, keeps us inspired, keeps us driven. That's what forward focus is. But I want you to think about all of your goals, right? You have a goal. I have a goal of owning 1,000 doors, apartment doors. 1,000 doors. That's my goal. Now, when I get to 1,000 doors, my new goal is going to be I want to own 2,000 doors. And then 3,000 doors. So when you hit your goals, especially when you're a driven individual, you're always thinking of new goals, of new places you want to go, how you want to get there, the impact you want to have on life, on the world. You're always expanding that. So it's like when you're looking forward and you're measuring yourself forward, it's like trying to catch the horizon. You're never catching the horizon. I'm here. The horizon's here. I'm going to chase that horizon. As that horizon is getting closer and closer and closer, all of a sudden the horizon moves. And it keeps moving. What doesn't move is where I came from. Where I came from, because one day I had 0 doors. And then I can remember, oh, I had 8 doors. Actually, it started with 2 doors, then 1 door, then a couple of more, then 8, then 43, and it builds from there. So we measure our progress looking back, but we set the intention of our progress looking forward. In review, 4 elements of writing a vision statement: clarity, emotion, bring all your senses into it, and make sure that you're writing, when you write that vision statement, you're writing it as if it already happened. So you're writing it from the future. The benefits of vision statements: it offers you guidance. You kind of go through the process, and it really awakens your confidence, your self-awareness, all of that internal process, all of those eternal emotions that come up. It identifies a lot of different things. It helps you build the roadmap. It's another tool in your roadmap of where you're going. And the last one is that it keeps you forward facing, keeps you moving forward. Guys, download the template that I provide. Success leaves clues. Don't create it yourself. Use my stuff. It's no big deal. I'm giving it to you. Use it and run with it. People have shared with me. It's now my responsibility to share with you. We live up here in the results, not down here in the excuses. We live in the numerator, not the denominator. Go out there and be unstoppable. Absolutely crush it, guys. Write your vision statements. Get at it. I love you guys.